Hello and welcome to Life with Miracle. My name is Miracle. I am the host for the show. So today I'd like to have a conversation with you about how to achieve our goals in 2023. A lot of us have set goals, almost all of us have set goals for 2023, and in times past, you may have found that you've set goals and the goals were not accomplished. um, you absolutely did nothing about the goals. Nothing was done, like nothing, nada at all. We're going to have a conversation. Let's have that conversation about how to make sure that the goals you've set for the year 2023 and the things you desire to achieve or accomplish or to get done in 2023, your lifelong to-do list, the things you'd like to tick off your lifelong to-do list in 2023, how to get them done. I want this year to be different for me, and I want it to be different for you too. I want this year to be the year that we actually set goals or have desires and we actually get them done, that we actually tick those things off our lifelong to-do list. So let's have that conversation. So first of all, let's go back to the 1st of January. The new year came in with lots of blitz and lots of glamour and lots of hope. And honestly, I think this has to be the most hopeful new year people have had in the last 3 years. I mean, 2020, we had hope and then COVID hit. And then there was the worldwide lockdown. And then, the economic implications of the lockdown, of the coronavirus, and it's just had its ripple effects on people's businesses, on their lives, on their relationships, on their careers, on their finances, and it's taking quite a toll on people, not to speak of the ones who have lost loved ones, people dear to them, and who are still trying to heal from the loss. So 2023 actually kind of came in and tore up that veil of hopelessness that 2020 had left on us through 2021 and 2022. And I'm seeing a lot of hope for the year 2023. And because we have so much hope, I feel it's important that we have this conversation so the year doesn't come and go the way other years have, come and go. I feel like there are things that we can do to hold ourselves accountable, to do the things that we need to do, to tick off our to-do list, and to begin to get that sense of fulfillment. Because the truth of the matter is, when you have a long to-do list of things you desire to do, your passions, your desires, the things that really matter to you, the things that add up to your end goal, the legacy of the person you want to be known as, the kind of imprint you'd like to have on the earth, on your community, on the people around you. When you have those desires and you don't do anything towards fulfilling them, you don't take any steps, you don't take any actions, you don't do anything whatsoever to get your goals done and fulfilled, then you start to have this piled up feeling of resentment and discontent and restlessness because you're not doing the things that bring you true fulfillment. And this happens to people in all stages of life. You could be employed, you could be unemployed, you could be working at a job that just spells drudgery and barely covers your bills. You could be working at a fantastic job that covers all your bills and leaves you with a lot left over. Your financial situation often doesn't determine if you're fulfilled or not. You could be earning a lot and be unfulfilled, and you could be earning a bit less and feel fulfilled. So it's really important that you're able to achieve those things that actually bring you real joy and satisfaction. And most times, the things that do these require us to give of ourselves. They require us to pour of ourselves into others. It could be mentoring people who are on the path that you're on, who are just starting out while you're, probably more advanced or established in the same path, and mentoring them could bring you a sense of joy and fulfillment. It could be giving back to your community in some way or the other. It could also just be being there for someone around you who is disabled or needy in some way or some form or shape. Just giving of ourselves, our time, our resources helps to bring that sense of fulfillment. So, what are things that you'd like to give to the world? What are the things you'd like to give to your community? What are the things you'd like to give to your family? What are the things you'd like to give to your loved ones? These are the things that bring you deep satisfaction. It's usually giving of ourselves in some shape or form. It's in that giving that we find fulfillment. It's in that giving that we find purpose. It's in that giving that we find satisfaction. Here is the number one game changer. If you implement this, if you successfully implement this, I 100% guarantee you that this year is going to be very, very, very much different from every other year you have ever experienced. Are you ready to hear what it is? Okay, here it is. Habits. That's the magic word. Your habits. Your habits. Your habits hold the key to unlocking your unfulfilled desires. Your habits hold the key to unlocking the things you need to tick off your lifelong to-do list. Your habits hold the key to giving you that sense of fulfillment that comes from fulfilling purpose. Habits hold the key to helping you structure your life, your time in 2023, to help you pour into others, pour into your community, into your family, into your loved ones in the way that brings you joy, fulfillment, and helps you walk in purpose. So the habits that you form holds the key to the outcomes that you have in life. I'm going to say something really important, and I really need you to listen from the depth of your consciousness. Habits hold the key to every outcome you've ever experienced in life. Habits hold the key to every outcome you have ever experienced in your life. Think about that for a minute. Okay, now I'm going to give you some examples to illustrate what I've just said. Let's say you earned a degree. Let's say you're a graduate. You had habits that made it possible for you to earn that degree. You had the habit of study. You developed the habits of fulfilling the requirements of a pre-designed coursework at an institution in order to earn that degree. You developed the habit of attending classes on time at your institution, whether you felt like it or not. You had to meet up with your attendance. You developed the habit of studying. You developed the habit of writing and passing tests after preparing for them. You developed the habit of writing and submitting coursework and assignments and having them graded. You developed the habit of preparing and taking exams and passing them with the required grade or above. If you can think back to any coursemate who was unable for some reason or the other, either due to lack of discipline to develop the needed habits of attending classes, or due to circumstances or situations beyond their control, you would find out that for most of those people who were unable to complete the required work and earn the degree because of their personal indiscipline, they were unable to take up the habits needed to excel or to pass or to attain the required minimums for earning that degree. They were not able to form the habit of attending classes, preparing for tests or exams, or passing them. And that's the difference between the people who did earn the degree and the people who were unable to. It was because of the formation of needed and necessary habits to attain that outcome. Here's a second example. Let's say you're married and you're very much in love, hopefully. You're married because you developed the habit of communicating with someone whom you took to be your significant other. You developed the habit of sharing your life with that person in a way that you don't share it with anyone else. You developed the habit of loving that person in a way that you do not love others. You developed the habit of being intimate with that person in a way that you're not intimate with others. And if you're going to stay married, of course, you would have to maintain those habits. So while the habits you needed to form to pass your coursework were short term, or something more long term like marriage, you would have to keep on the habits that you used to commence the journey of being married in the first place. In the example of the short term habits needed to earn your degree, if you suddenly return to the institution where you earned your degree and start practicing the habits you practiced in the times past, even after you've earned your degree, there would naturally be a call to ensure that you are psychologically still well for going back there and reliving those habits. So there are habits that are short term and there are habits that are long term, depending on the goal that those habits sustain and the outcomes that those habits sustain. I will say this, and I'd like you to listen from the depth of your consciousness. There are no goals until you have habits that are the result of breaking down your goals. There are no goals until you have habits that are the results of breaking down your goals. So if you've written down a list of goals for the year 2023 and the goals don't have daily, weekly, monthly, measurable tasks for you to achieve those goals, you do not yet have goals. You have desires and you have wishes, but you don't have goals yet. So I'd like you to take a pen and paper right now and begin to write down your goals. And after you've written them down, I'd like you to break your goals down into the things you need to achieve on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to achieve your goals in the year 2023. Do that right now. Let's break down some goals together so you have an idea of how this is done. Let's say you'd like to upskill in the first quarter of 2023, or you'd like to switch and transition to a new career. And to do that, you need a certain certification. And to earn that certification, you'd have to take some courses and perhaps write a certification exam or a test. Let's say you do your research and it takes 80 hours to complete the study and the preparation for that certification, or to complete an online course for that certification. That means that you would have to break down the required 80 hours into daily or weekly time spent studying in order to achieve your goal. Let's say you break down the required 80 hours of study into 1 hour a day. That means that every day you would have to dedicate 1 hour to study in order to achieve your goal of upskilling or transitioning to a new career. This means you would have to analyze your daily routine and make changes in order to allow you to have 1 hour of study a day. Let's say you're also working full-time and you always come back from work really tired and have a few things to tidy up at home before going to bed, and you usually go to bed by 11 p.m. or past 12 in the midnight. In order to achieve the goal of studying for an hour a day, you might need to study before going to work. This might mean that you would have to go to bed at an earlier time and make sacrifices to make sure that you wake up earlier. You might need to go to bed, for example, earlier by 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. so you could wake up earlier and have an hour to study with the clarity of the morning before you go to work. That's an example of a goal that's been broken down into a daily task in order to achieve your goals in a way that you can track. So if you miss a week, or if you miss a day, or you miss 3 days, you know how many hours you've missed, and then you know how many hours you would need to reclaim in order to achieve the goal at the set time, or how much more time you would have to add to the period previously set in order to achieve that same goal. Let's take another example. Say I'd like to lose 10 kg before the end of the first quarter of 2023. To do that, I might do low intensity exercises for 20 minutes a day each week, or I could do 30 minutes of mid to high intensity exercises 3 times a week. Additionally, I could help support my goals by deciding not to take soda drinks, carbonated drinks, and the sugary, calorie high drinks. You know them, I don't need to mention them, we all know them. And then just drink water instead of taking those extra carbs. I could equally decide to add portion control to these 2 steps, and then I could measure my progress by tracking how much time I've invested into actually losing weight and how many times I have actually forgone my previous habits of taking soda drinks and drinks that are high in calorie and low in nutritional value. I hope you can see now why this conversation on habits was so very important. Another example is if you know you've been lacking or slagging behind in your walk with God and you'd like to really pick up pace, but you also know that you really don't take out time to study the Word of God or pray, you could start by dedicating 30 minutes in the morning or at night to prayer and reading the Word of God. And as you begin to hit that goal and consistently build that habit of spending 30 minutes in prayer and word study daily, you can then decide to add on an additional 15 minutes, make it 45, and then maybe an additional 15 and make it an hour a day. So sometimes you approach your goals in incremental levels or at incremental steps. Your goal might be an hour a day dedicated towards something, but you might not be able to start and focus by forcing yourself to do that thing for an hour a day. You might have to start by doing that task or habit, forming that habit for 15 minutes a day, and then you grow to 30 minutes a day, and then you grow to 45 minutes a day, and then you grow to an hour a day. So your habits can be built in incremental steps. All this to say, if you have goals that will make your life look very much different from what it was when the year ended in 2022, and you'd like 2023 to end on a very different and glorious note for you, then you would definitely have to change your habits. If you find yourself doing the exact same things, wasting time in the exact same way, not making any changes to the way you utilize your time, then just know that the year is slipping past you at the speed of light and nothing is getting done, and you might end up at the end of the year with the same frustrations that you had at the end of last year. Honestly, I wouldn't want that for you, because I wouldn't want that for me either. So I really hope you go on this journey with me to changing our habits to achieve our goals. I wish you all the best in the year 2023. If you found any value in anything I've said, please share and like and subscribe. This is 2023, and one of my goals is to come on here and have these conversations with you, talk about things that most people wouldn't want to talk about, and find the light and share the light with those around us, building up ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. All the things that you want, all the things that you dream of, all the things that you know are possible are also waiting for you. What you want, your godly desires also want you, but they don't want this version of you. They need a new version of you, and that version of you will only emerge when your habits change, helping you to grow into the person you need to be, to do the things you're called to do, and walk in purpose. I'm here to cheer you on. My name is Miracle, and this has been Miracle Life TV. I wish you all the best in 2023, and I look forward to having many more conversations with you on this channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do so. Love you. Ciao.